border protection, and the policies and the language and the slogans are going to appear very familiar to Australians. Have a look.
We've got to somehow break the cycle.
On the Kent coast this morning, a Prime Minister determined to succeed where his predecessors failed.
You can do it from here.
Yes.
As border force grapple with thousands of channel crossings, a bold new plan to stop the boats.
If you come here illegally, you can't claim asylum. You can't benefit from our modern slavery protections. You can't make spurious human rights claims. And you can't stay.
Stop the boats, the Australian line reflected in the UK. Now, you've given the Conservatives some advice on this policy area, Alexander. Just how closely are they replicating Australia's policies?
Well, they're completely replicating what they can from the Australian policy. So there are two fundamental differences which put them at a substantial disadvantage compared to Australia. The first is that you can't turn back the boats because there's no international waterway between the UK and France. They're less than 24 miles apart. So you don't have international waterways to turn boats back. And if you look at that picture on the screen there of a boat, you can see that it'd be pretty hard in any case to turn little more than a raft like that back. And the second thing is that they are signatories to the European Convention on Human Rights, which has a court associated with it, the European Court of Human Rights. And they're always subject to the vagaries of how that court may rule. And we obviously don't have that problem. So that creates huge difficulties for them, particularly in managing the offshore processing issue of getting people to Rwanda. But, I mean, basically the argument here is exactly the same, or the same people who are against the Howard and Abbott governments turning back the boats and stopping this terrible trade. They're out there in the UK slamming the government, racist, human rights abuses, all of that.
And most of the public, especially immigrants, presumably will support it because they respect borders.